Hi and welcome back. So today I thought I would cover something that I see a lot when I'm working with clients, and that is the fear of rejection and how it can drive your emotional eating. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist specializing in emotional eating. So if you've ever noticed that when you maybe are out to dinner or you're meeting up with friends and all of a sudden you might not feel good enough, or you don't feel included, or you're not invited to a thing, or you're not acknowledged in a certain way, it almost brings up and triggers your emotional eating. And so you might be out to dinner and then eating a lot of food. And so I just want to say that you are not alone. I've been there too, and I've had clients move through the same fear as well. And we've been able to get to the other side. So what is really going on is that when we feel like we're not being seen or heard or acknowledged, we feel like we're not good enough, or we feel like someone is judging us. Maybe we don't get the compliment that we want. So I had a client, every time she went out to dinner with her girlfriends, so even though they had a great time and they'd be chatting, she would get triggered into emotional eating, and it would trigger her fear of not being good enough. And so the reason this was happening was that for her, in order to feel seen and accepted and validated, she needed them to compliment the way she looked and how she was dressed and maybe something about her body. Because growing up, that is the only way that she felt accepted. That's the only way her family showed acceptance, was that if she was thin enough or she looked a certain way. And so she was looking for that same validation from her friend group. And when she didn't receive that from her friends, it would trigger her emotional eating. But this was all going on under the surface. She didn't really connect the dots. She just knew that every time she went out to meet up with her friends, she would emotionally eat. And they were really nice girls and they had a really great time, and she just didn't know why she was triggered. I'm going to also share another example. So it's been over 10 years since I've emotionally eaten, and a lot of the things that would trigger me into emotional eating, sometimes they still come up in my life, except now I can see them more clearly. And for me, the same fear of rejection has come up because whenever we're growing and we're moving into new situations, we're expanding, we're trying to show up more, be more visible. And for me, that is for my business, for being here on YouTube, being on social media. It's about showing up, and sometimes those fears get activated. And so when I'm showing up, on social media or on YouTube or even with clients, that fear of rejection can show up. And it doesn't mean that I haven't done work on this core wound of mine. It's just that a new layer is showing up because I am expanding and moving into different situations. But if I was still an emotional eater, I probably wouldn't recognize it as quickly, and I would just automatically go to food like my client did. And so what I taught my client and what I do now in life, because we're always going to get these triggers, is that we need to see what is triggering our emotional eating and actually get to the root and start resolving it and moving through that. And for this client, like I mentioned, it was about feeling that she wasn't good enough because she wasn't getting that compliment. And how could she really resolve that root that was created in her childhood? How could we move through, the rejection she felt, the hurt she felt on a body level, move through those emotions, and actually meet her deeper needs, meet those needs of that inner child, and then see what her next steps were. So maybe right before she goes out, this is just an example, she really acknowledges herself. She really looks at her outfit. She really says and self-validates how good she looks and feels. And then maybe she can extend that to her friends and start complimenting them, because maybe they feel the same thing she's feeling and they can't extend a compliment. And so if she can open up that doorway, then it becomes a safer space for them to share what they like about each other, or maybe she doesn't even need that. So it's all going to be individual for each of us. So this is really about meeting that deeper need. So for this client, what we did is, and what I do in my own life, is really getting into the root of that trigger, what's coming up. So really getting to that fear of rejection, that emotion, that pain that's coming up, really getting into the root of where it was created in childhood, moving through that and giving yourself what you need, giving that inner child what you need, that validation, that being seen and accepted. And then from there, natural steps follow. So maybe you acknowledge yourself right before you leave to going out to dinner with your friends, or you don't even care anymore because you've now given yourself that. You feel so accepted and validated as you are. And so you're not looking for it outside of you. And so that fear or that trigger of not feeling good enough won't pop up. And so you can have your normal meal. You're not going to emotionally eat. So emotional eating is rarely about the food. It is about meeting these deeper needs and processing and moving through them so that you can help calm your nervous system, feel that sense of safety in your body. This fear of rejection and not feeling good enough, it makes your body sort of go on hypervigilance. It starts making you think that something's wrong with you, and that creates a lot of discomfort and shame. And then if we don't know how to move through that discomfort and shame, we go to food to help us soothe and numb out and just to feel okay. It's not really resolving that. It's not helping us feel better about ourselves. It's not helping us feel good enough. It's just numbing the pain and discomfort we're feeling because we don't know how to move through it and get back to a calmer space where we feel safe, where we feel accepted. And so when we're able to recognize this and start meeting our true needs, giving ourselves that space to move through, the discomfort we're feeling and knowing that it's okay and normal, and accepting how we feel, and then validating ourselves and accepting ourselves, that's what really breaks the emotional eating cycle. So if you notice yourself eating every time you feel left out or judged or not good enough, you're not alone in this, and there's not something wrong with you. It's just that you develop this coping strategy, emotional eating, to help you deal with the discomfort, the distress, the shame that is a natural byproduct of feeling that way. And so if you'd like to dive in deeper into recognizing how you could be triggered into your emotional eating, I'd love to invite you to grab my free guide called What Are You Truly Hungry For? It's going to help you discern true from emotional hunger and to start catching your triggers so you can start seeing your pattern. This really is the gateway and the first step I give to my clients. And if you're ready to really resolve your emotional eating from the root, I'd also love to invite you to find out more about the Emotional Eating Evolution Program. This is my 12-week container. It is a step-by-step process with weekly office hours, one-to-one sessions, and the deeper tools to really resolve your emotional eating in a sustainable way. So I'll put the links for that below. So if you have any questions about what I shared today, please let me know. Please be sure to like and subscribe. I look forward to sharing more with you, and I hope you have a great day.